Hey everybody, welcome back to Uncommon Nonsense. Before we get into this episode, I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. There was a good amount of background noise in this recording. I did my best to take as much of it out as I could, but there were a few instances where there's some left. I think there's a few instances of a door creaking in the background and some things being moved on the table. It's nothing too atrocious, I just want to give you a heads up. But without further ado, here's your regularly scheduled Uncommon Nonsense.
Look at how vanilla I am. You think I want any spice on my food at all? You better back up.
So Skyline,
they don't know Jeremiah
but you're telling
like
me
I
that
do.
Skyline doesn't use beans, or you can just get it without beans.
It
Are they gonna
doesn't
make a
use beans.
fuss?
They don't use
There are no
beans.
beans.
It's a one consistency of chili, and it's like very, very finely ground up.
Okay,
If-
you're making
if
it
you're-
sound less and less appetizing.
You can put beans in your
Doesn't it have, like,
three-way, like
Cocoa
it'll make it a
powder or
four-way.
something in it?
I don't
It
want
technically
beans.
does have chocolate in it,
Oh.
which is
Yeah.
weird.
chocolate.
There's
Yeah.
chocolate in
Cinnamon.
Skyline.
You know the
Cinnamon and
you know the
That's that
local our local
grounded up.
donut shop. Their
I actually think
chocolate
that's been
icing,
debunked, but that's always what I've been told.
Our local donut shop, they put coffee in their chocolate icing.
Yeah,
It's delicious.
That is a
That
pretty
sounds
common
amazing.
cooking thing.
Okay, well fuck me then.
Yeah, I mean, it just
No,
like,
say it.
damn.
Say it.
No, that's pretty common for chocolate. It enhances the flavor of chocolate.
I use coffee in some of my steak and burger seasoning to help break down the meat. Wink,
Huh.
wink.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Uncommon Nonsense. This episode's a little bit of a party, and you guys are all invited as long as you don't bring your creepy cousin that nobody likes. Today we have a bit of a full table. We have returning with us my good friend Derek.
Hello, it's good to see you guys again. And by see, I mean not hear or see you. Welcome back to the Uncommon Nonsense.
It's good to speak at you again.
Yeah, it's good to speak at you and let you hear my glorious, not so glorious voice. Glad to be here. Thanks for the introduction.
It's pretty glorious.
Thank you. Wink,
And
wink.
then, we have with us as well the bullfrog Jeremiah.
Why, hello. I've been brought to lather you with my sweet baritone.
So sultry.
Hello.
It's delectable.
Mm.
Just lick it up.
Like a cat at a milk bowl.
You got your ear holes feeling like that scene in We Are the Millers with Ron Swanson and,
This is taking a weird
and
start.
Jason Sudeikis.
We've gone off the rails already in the first
It's natural.
2 seconds, huh?
Yeah, continue on.
And on my side here we have my beautiful wife, Emily.
Hello. Again.
We last time we had some good times on the internet. If you caught our horrible jaunt through Reddit that we took, but we'll talk about that later. And then first time on the mic, first time on the pod, another one of my really good friends, Aaron.
Hello.
Welcome to
Welcome.
the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome
Hope
to,
everyone's doing well.
As I've called it in the past, this is Uncommon Nonsense Studios. Whenever we hit the record button,
Whenever we incorporate.
yeah, we'll get there one day. But yeah, I got a lot of fun stuff for us to get to. But I just wanted to talk about what's been going on with us recently. I wanted to get a read on how we're all doing. So let's hey Derek, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So for those of you that have listened, I'm getting my pilot's license, and unfortunately, I failed my test the first time by one question. Very disappointing. But my Olympic athlete instructor finally came back from her coaching tour in Europe, which was amazing to hear about. And so I'm getting that fixed. Otherwise, just been working, doing the single dad thing, chilling. That's my story.
A coaching tour in Europe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was some stuff that went down on the U.S. Olympic team. So she ended up taking coaching jobs with other countries and went all through Europe coaching bobsled.
Damn.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how you been doing, Jeremiah?
Good.
Same.
I don't want y'all to know anything about me. I'm a mystery in the night. I'll give you a few tidbits. I have teeny tiny chickens.
Teeny tiny chickens.
Yes, they're of the bantam variety. They're Belgian bearded quail d'Anvers. Yes, my chickens have beards. I have beard. That is what you need to know.
It's only right.
Are you a chicken?
Depends
He's
on who you
more-
ask.
Chickens for the chicken god?
He's evolved.
I've heard things about my fat chicken.
Oh. Do you still have your ducks?
Yes. I also have a bunch of cute ducks.
How are they doing?
They look like cute loaves of bread. They constantly gossip about me and always talk shit behind my back.
I like that.
Yeah, I'll show up at his house sometimes, and they'll just be like literally cackling. And every time I said they're quackling out there. They're quacking.
Quackling.
They're quacking up.
You know what they say?
Quacking up.
Never trust a duck.
But then as soon as I get close to them, silence.
They're plotting.
Always talking shit.
Damn.
These fucking ducks.
Well, Emily, I know, but how have you been doing?
Oh, I've been doing,
Yeah.
Been doing
living,
Colin.
working.
Oh shit.
Oh, hardly. I'm just joking.
Oh shit.
She's full of nonsense. if
Edit
you know what
that
I'm
out.
saying.
Complete full of
Damn.
nonsense.
I can't wait to cut that out later.
Sound out as a sound bite.
But yeah, no, I
No,
mean,
yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Just, being a mom and working and being chilling.
being chilling. John Cena, I hope you're listening. I'm pretty sure John Cena listens to this.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's like our number one listener.
Anytime someone says being chilling,
Well, it's
his
funny-
ears start to ring.
On Spotify, it shows like the demographic for who listens, and it's like of what age group and what percentage male and female. But there's always the one bar that just says John Cena, and it's full every time. So he loves it.
That's an interesting
top
statistic.
listener.
So, newcomer Aaron, how are you, man?
Sorry, I'm doing pretty well. Hanging out, worked earlier today. Have nothing planned for the rest of the evening.
Hell yeah, I'm excited to have you on the pod. I got some fun things to bring to your attention. I want to get your takes on.
Just right in our ear holes.
Yeah, I'm gonna shove some things in your ear holes, and you're gonna like it. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think I'm prepared to be flashbanged by words.
Well, it's too late. You already sat down at the table.
My ear holes are ready for a whole dictionary. Put them in.
Emphasis.
Yeah, you got the joke. Thanks
did.
for.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
I'm making it subtle, but you got it.
I
All right.
did. I was right there.
Okay.
But yeah, so
How have you been?
I appreciate you asking.
Of course,
Derek.
of course.
No, I've been all right. I mean, I've been working a lot.
Yeah.
As
On the ground.
everybody has to on the ground.
Grind.
Oh,
Grind.
He's been
I've
working
been on the ground.
Yep.
I've been
On that
laying
corner.
down on the
Someone
ground.
broke his kneecaps at work.
They won't let me stand.
Yeah,
No,
one of the requisites of the job is that
They
you
said
may
you gotta
not
do it down
stand.
here.
No,
You're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it prone.
professionally.
You
Professional
must
sleeper.
crawl to do all
Yeah.
of your tasks.
Yeah, it hurts. No, I mean, I've been all right. I've been dipping into a lot of projects, a lot of working on putting out some stuff on top of the podcast. So, all works in progress, all things that we'll get to in time. But yeah, I'm excited to have you all on. I wanted to bring something to the table that happened semi recently. And that's the new Puss in Boots movie.
I've not seen it.
Really?
Really? I've
Yeah,
not
see,
seen it.
that's the thing is that I have not seen it either. But the reason I want to talk about it is because the one thing that I know that we have all seen is Shrek. And at the end, spoiler alert for Puss in Boots, Curse of the Cat Tail or whatever. I'll look up what the actual title is.
That's probably a good idea.
There's a scene at the end. It's called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That's a good title. I like that title. Anyway, there's a scene at the end where they've had their adventure and they're all on a boat and they're like, "What are we doing next?" And Puss in Boots very specifically says, "We're gonna go find new adventures and old friends." and then the boat, like the camera pans, and the boat is sailing towards far, far away from Shrek, right? So it's very obviously, like, to me, they're basically saying Shrek 5 or whatever, expect it, right?
Shrek Reborn.
More Shrek. So we've all seen Shrek, right?
Oh yeah.
We've all seen Shrek.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think there's a person alive that hasn't seen Shrek at this point. How do we feel about another Shrek?
I don't know. I personally felt that it got overexposed going into, I don't even know if I saw past, I may have seen 3.
Shrek the Third?
I might have. Which one
What's
had
called?
the babies?
Shrek the Third.
I might have seen the babies.
Yeah.
I don't know if
You
I've
remember
seen,
the babies.
Isn't there like a Shrek 1.5 too? I know there was a
Yeah.
Lion King
There was
1.5, but
There is like a TV special. Let's look at, I'll pull up a list of all the Shrek titles.
oh god.
There were some Christmas specials.
Yeah. I saw a Christmas and a Halloween
Well, that
special.
one was called Shrek the Halls.
I played a Shrek horror
I remember
game.
that off the top of my head.
You
I don't
played a
think it
Shrek
has-
board game?
Yeah,
Is it
no
canon?
horror game.
I had a
horror
Shrek
game.
As
video
in
game
the
growing up.
spooks, but I don't think it had any actual relation
Oh,
to Shrek.
this is crazy. Sorry. I looked up all the Shrek titles, and it literally says Shrek in 2001, Shrek 2 in 2004, Shrek the Third 2007, Shrek the Halls in 2007 as well. That was like the TV Christmas special.
Yeah.
And then Shrek Forever After came out in 2010. Never saw that. And then it already has Shrek 5. Like, it doesn't have an image or anything, but
So
it's
you-
like already has a blank box because it says Shrek 5.
So you posed the question without looking it up?
No, well, I wasn't posing the question.
Just kidding.
I wasn't saying, do you think it's going to happen? I'm saying, if it, like, when it happens, I guess, how do you feel about
All right,
it?
fair
Like, what's your take on another Shrek movie? This is the 5th Shrek installment. Like, the first one, don't get me wrong, and I think anyone will agree, the first one, fantastic. You can throw that thing in a Blu-ray player right now and have a great time watching it.
It had
the second
everything.
one,
Crossbreeding.
yeah.
That's it. That's the only one.
It had
That's
crossbreeding.
what you wanted
Well,
out of it.
The thing that I always remember immediately from the first Shrek movie, beyond the killer intro with the All Star by Smash Mouth and just Shrek
Right.
being a gross monster, but there's the part where he finally gets to the castle it's like Farquaad's castle, and there's the guy, it's like a puppet, and he's like doing a whole song, and he says, "Stay off of the grass, wipe your shoe or shine your shoes, wipe your," and he's like bent
Face.
over, yeah, like he's gonna say ass, and then he turns back around and he says face,
Yeah.
and it's hilarious.
My favorite is when they're looking up at Farquaad's castle, and Shrek's like, "Do you think he's compensating for something?"
Yeah.
And talking about dick size.
Well, because
But
he's
when
got
they
that
meet
little
him-
boner.
Well, when they meet him, he's like super short. So yes, it's
Yeah.
funny because he was compensating for something, but it was
Yeah.
his height. And Shrek's joke.
You
was
remember the
dick
little
joke.
boner, right?
I do.
He's
I don't
got
know the little boner. I don't know what you're
He's
talking
got a
about.
little boner.
I'm sure it is, but I don't know.
If
what
I
you're
can
talking
find
about.
the clip, I will put it up. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are seeing Farquaad's little boner right now because he has a little boner in the movie. He's looking at the princesses, and it's like, what?
Demonetized.
Hey, these aren't monetized anyway. I mean,
Fair enough. No, I don't remember. I don't remember the little boner.
he's got a little boner.
Are you talking about in the bed under the sheet?
Yep.
Oh, okay. When he's looking in the mirror.
Yeah,
I
straight
don't
boner
remember
town.
that, but
Boner town,
It makes
population,
sense.
Lord Farquaad.
yep, that sounds like a Shrek joke. Something I would do in Shrek.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, it was way ahead of its time, to be honest. The original Shrek.
and it referenced so many things. Like it made so many references. But Aaron, do you have a favorite Shrek moment? What's your favorite? Think back to 2001. Your favorite Shrek moment.
Not roughly 9 years old.
Live. We're getting this live on the mic, guys. So just pay attention here.
So I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh my fucking god,
I have watched Shrek one time.
bro! But did you like it?
From what I remember as a small, wee young boy, yeah, sure.
Oh my god.
But none of that is retained. It's been a very long
That's
time
fair.
since
We'll
I've
have to
seen
watch Shrek sometime.
Yeah.
And like you think I'm joking, but
There are churches
to
dedicated to Shrek as a
Shrekism.
deity.
I'm pretty sure it's called Shrekism. I will. You know what?
to be rivaled by the flying spaghetti monster. Do you guys remember that religion when it came around?
I do.
I'm about to Shrek the
all
halls.
the senior edge guys in high school would go around passing pamphlets around. For this
Okay.
flying spaghetti monster.
All right, check this out. We'll get right back into Shrek in a moment because I want to talk about the actual movies. But Shrekism is a religion revolving around the character in the 2001 animated film called Shrek. Its followers say things like cutting onions with my knife. What? Shrek is love, Shrek is
I mean,
life.
what?
Shrek is love, Shrek is life, which we'll get back to later. That's funny that we're bringing this up now because I have
Full
a lot of
circle.
yeah, we're got a lot of things to talk about, guys. But Shrek is love, Shrek is life. Have we all know what that is? If not, you will. Shrekism is praying to Shrek and hoping he will reward us with eternal life. Our greatest enemy is Drek. Is the Drek Lord Farquaad worshippers. Drek. The Drek Lord Farquaad worshippers. Which I also want to point
Isn't
out.
Farquaad dead? Didn't the dragon eat him?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
he got
Jesus
eaten.
died.
Maybe he's a lich.
Jesus died. That's all I'm saying. Hey,
Couldn't be.
also, I want to point out, it took me forever to realize another classically hilarious Shrek joke is just the fact that his name is Lord Farquaad, because it sounds like Lord Fuckwad.
Yes.
I never got that.
That was the whole
Yep.
play.
Never got that growing up. I was like, I realized that, and I was like, dude, that's
Shrek was edgy as hell. DreamWorks put it
Fuckwad.
on the map.
But yeah, they believe that Farquaad, who tried to take Shrek's wife, is the true ruler. Yeah. Big online battles rise on ShrekChan.com about this topic. That is very sensitive to its followers. And then after this paragraph, it says woo, but it's like with a million O's, and then some of them are capitals, so it's like woo, like way too long. I'll put a picture of it on the
Look, here's the
screen
thing. If
because
it came down to a war between Farquadians and Shrekists, I would side with the Shrekists.
Well, yeah,
there's
because-
just nothing in me that says I would have anything in common with somebody who praises Lord Farquaad.
all I can think is that the Farquaadism movement or whatever it was just a response, right? They saw the glory of Shrekism,
Yeah.
and they were like, oh,
Yeah. So
you
it's
know,
Satanism. It's the Shrekist equivalent of Satanism.
Yeah.
it's
It got really
basically
dark.
Satanism,
And-
but we don't have to get back into it.
Well, I'm not making fun of Satanism either. I actually love their creed.
Okay, well, we don't have to go that
Enthusiasm.
far either. But anyway,
Save that for a
let's
very
get back to
different
the animated
podcast.
movies.
It's
So
a little bit more lighthearted.
Shrek 1, we all agree. Aaron, you agree. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie.
Sure.
Shrek
favorite.
2. Have you seen Shrek 2?
No.
Ah, holy guacamole.
God.
Well, let me
We
tell
found
you
the only person, the only millennial
that is
in
not
all
seen Shrek 2.
of the United
Well-
States that has not seen these movies more than
Sorry,
once.
man.
Well, did
It's
they
all right.
were
I didn't
you
see the
in
fourth one. I don't
were
think.
you I don't know. Were you living in Hawaii in 2004?
No. I
No.
was living in California.
Okay, then you should have seen Shrek 2. There's no excuse.
The studio's out there, man.
What
That's
does where me living? What is me living anywhere?
The culture.
the culture in Hawaii. I would
There are
way
much better
rather
things
spend
to do.
time like doing other things.
I'd be
But I mean,
surfing
that's
instead
like
of
coming
watching
from someone
Shrek.
that doesn't live there. I guess if you live there, it'd probably be different.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm
Volcano
just saying,
hikes. And
like when you lived in Hawaii, would you say that you spent a lot more time actually like outside doing shit, or did you spend more time like consuming media?
Oh no, I was outside almost every day.
Yeah, see, that's my point. That's all I'm saying.
I feel
But-
like if you live in Hawaii and you're not outside, you should probably be burned at the stake. Like
If
that's
you-
like a witch.
What's the
that's
point of
witch
living in
mentality.
If you live
Right,
in Hawaii
exactly.
and you
Right.
don't look like Maui from Moana, I don't think that you should just move to like Wisconsin or something. You know?
But why?
Jeez.
It's so beautiful in Hawaii.
One of my favorite Shrek parts is the immigration scene.
The what?
The immigration song.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't know the immigration song?
No.
I mean, it's a super famous song. It's where they go.
Oh, yeah.
And then
That's called the immigration
Is
song?
that when they're at the like
Yeah.
baby shower or something?
No,
Why
I think
is
it's
it
one of
called
the-
that?
It's
Or the
like
bridal
I think it's
shower?
one of the princesses is like ready to storm a castle, And
yeah,
she's like
but they
saying,
were at like a baby shower for Fiona, and then I remember.
Why
what you're
is it
talking
called
about.
the immigration song?
I know that's what the band called it. It's a super famous song.
Anyway,
you can look it up, but that's
Shrek
what's going
2.
on.
Shrek 2.
I was surprised when I learned that as well. I think that's from either Shrek 2 or Shrek 3, but that's an amazing scene.
Jeremiah, you like Shrek, right?
Yes.
What's your favorite moment from Shrek 1?
Favorite moment from Shrek 1?
Yeah.
Probably Donkey commenting on the boulder. That's
a nice boulder.
moment.
Yeah.
And
waffle
seeing that
waffles,
little
yeah.
tiny shack and being reminisced of my own hermit lifestyle choices.
I was say Jeremiah probably sees a lot of himself in Shrek
I do
Wow.
indeed.
in lifestyle, not in appearance. 'Cause
Yeah.
this boy is handsome.
You know, actually, before we move on to Shrek 2, I did want to bring up something interesting. There was a sort of like lost media almost for Shrek 1 because I don't know like how how widespread knowledge it is, but Chris Farley was supposed to be Shrek originally. And he had recorded like almost half the movie.
I gotta do a little pause real quick. Just for all you listeners out there, Colin just covered his disgusting burp in his elbow right at his wife's face.
Yeah.
And
would you
there's
bring
no
Sprite?
one sitting next to his
I'm gonna
other
be
side.
honest.
Sprite to a podcast.
I
felt like
panicked.
I panicked.
He does that all
I
the
panicked.
time.
I panicked.
Panicked. There's nobody on
If
his other
you
side, by the
can't
way.
love me at my burps, then you can't love me at my
Twerks.
twerks when I make that shit clap.
That's a t-shirt. Uncommon
Absolutely.
nonsense t-shirt.
Tune in for when I clap my ass on TikTok and get 1 million
Oh
likes.
my god.
Anyway, so there's a bit of a lost media thing with Shrek 1 because Chris Farley had recorded about half the movie and then unfortunately he passed away. And so they kind of recorded those sound files. And then what I think is funny is that that's not the only time that Shrek 1 had to be re-recorded because obviously with Chris Farley's passing, they replaced him with Mike Myers, which killed it. But when he originally recorded Shrek, he just did his like Austin Powers British, like yeah baby, you know what I mean, like Mike Myers, and they got through like a good chunk of the movie, and he was like, you know what, I don't like this. I want to do like the Scottish that he ended up doing, and I think that was a good call.
Clearly,
Can you imagine-
Clearly, was a good call.
Like Cockney British
No,
Shrek.
I cannot.
Like, get out of my swamp, yeah. You know, like, hey,
Groovy.
what are you doing? Don't like it, you're in there. Like, just being super creepy. I feel like it would just make him creepy, because he's not... not to say that, like, the Scottish makes him scary, but it adds a little more edge than, like, the Austin Powers.
Toughness, yeah.
It's like, oh, gonna rescue a princess. Fucking donkey. Like, it would suck. I would hate that.
it was a good call.
Yeah.
Swap it up.
Get him out of here.
Yep.
But, yeah, so...
I can't believe you didn't include Shrek in the Swamp Karaoke Dance Party as one of the movies
yeah.
that you could have watched.
Bro, don't
That's his favorite. He just
That's
didn't want to mention
wait a
it.
minute. Hang on.
It's in 2001,
I'm having a strange
right after
recollection.
the original Shrek.
You know what? I'll get to this because you unlocked something in me, but I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna ignore it.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to
Sexual
Shrek 2.
deviance.
Okay, cool.
Shrek 2. One of my favorite movies growing up. And so Aaron, who has not seen Shrek 2, allow me to give you a personal review. This is welcome everybody to Colin's Review Corner. I'll put like a little twinkle like da-da-da-da. And I'm going to review for you Shrek 2, 2004. This movie fucking slaps. Okay? It's good as fuck. No, Shrek 2 is great. It obviously, has the returning cast from Shrek 1, and usually when they add they always add like new characters in the second one, and usually they're not as good, right? Like that happens in almost every movie series, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I shit you not, bro. This is the movie that they added Puss in Boots. And let me tell you, Puss in Boots is just a cat, but he's Zorro. It's his whole thing.
Well, yeah, isn't he voiced by Antonio Banderas? Too?
Yeah, and he kills
He's
it.
Zorro.
He is literally a cat, but he's Zorro, and he's one of the best characters ever made. He's hilarious.
Antonio Banderas killed it as Zorro, and they were like, "Let's put
Knocked
this in
it out of
Shrek."
the fucking water.
Yeah,
So,
I don't even think I've ever seen that movie, but I know he did a good job.
the cat as Zorro. Zorro cat, Puss in Boots. They add him into the mix. It's great. They turn Shrek into a human at one point, and he's like, it's kind of like Uncanny Valley a little bit, because he's like the most, like they all the humans in
He's
Shrek.
the Chad.
Yeah, he's
he's
absolutely
the
the
Chad.
Chad.
Yeah.
But all the humans in Shrek, if you remember, are butt fucking ugly. And I think that it was a choice. Like, I think that they did that on purpose, because they're like, we want you to focus on the fantastical, so we're going to make the people hard to look at. Like, I'm telling you, go back and watch the original Shrek. The people, you cannot look at them with, like, and keep your fucking lunch down. They're ugly. But in the second one, they turn Shrek into a human, so they can't make him, like, butt fucking ugly. So he's the only human that is, like, okay to look at, and it gives it, like, a weird uncanny valleyness to it, at least in my opinion.
I had a hilarious Uncanny Valley moment the other day. We can talk about that another time,
All right.
but it's pretty funny. I told Jeremiah about it.
Yeah.
You're
This guy,
always
man,
with the sidebars.
for
Look at that
those
man.
listening, I'll put it on the screen if I can find it.
That's a green man.
Emily set her phone in front of me, and it's a picture of Shrek as a human, and just God, he kind of looks like Wreck-It Ralph in a weird way. But Wreck-It Ralph is better to look at. I would rather look at Wreck-It Ralph. I'd rather let Ralph wreck it than human
Oh.
Shrek. That's all I'm saying.
Damn.
You heard it
Him
here
wreck it
first.
and-
You heard it
I
here
showed
first.
him.
Aaron,
Colin says Wreck-It Ralph can get it.
Aaron,
John C. Riley,
What?
I hope you're listening.
John C. Riley, this is for you. What's your opinions on Human Shrek? You saw Human Shrek.
Yeah.
You've seen Ogre Shrek.
Yes.
Which is fine. I mean, he's ugly, but it's still fine to look at.
Yeah, it's an ogre.
Human Shrek.
Looks like a guy.
What?
He's a guy. I mean, he's arguably
Yeah, I never
better
had too
looking-
many
Just one
qualms with
guy
it.
in this world.
Yeah.
Are you telling? Whoa.
Is the foot skin all over again?
Jeremiah? Human Shrek, is he weird to look at? Yes or no?
See, you didn't ask me that question.
But I asked you how you felt, and you immediately were like, he's fine. But if
Yeah.
he's weird to look at,
He's not weird to look at.
he's weird to look at. I don't like looking at him.
Okay.
Don't like his ears or his little teeny tiny dimple.
No.
But besides that, he looks like a normal 3D animated person of this time frame.
Not a fan.
Think of the glorious Vikings of How to Train Your Dragon.
They look great.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to have you go back and look again
I
because
mean,
they look
compared
pretty
to
rough.
Shrek, compared to human Shrek, that shit is ugly. Anyway, Shrek 2, it's great. They end up making like a big gingerbread man, because gingerbread man plays a whole part in the original one. But what you reminded me of is Shrek 2 has a myriad of musical numbers.
As it should.
Specifically, one of the best renditions of "I Need a Hero" ever recorded, and I mean that.
For no reason.
They did that. They did not have to go that hard for Shrek, and they did it. At the end of the DVD that I had for Shrek 2, there was a bonus feature that was like American Idol, but it was called Far, Far Away Idol. And it had judges that were like characters in the movie, except for Simon Cowell, who is fucking Simon Cowell.
Yeah, I was reading about that on
I
Yeah.
remember
Shrek.
that.
So
It's there.
you watch them all the characters do their little song and dances, and I'm pretty sure Puss in Boots is the one that he does is Livin' La Vida Loca or something, or I could be thinking wrong. That might just be in the movie. But they all do a song and like a performance, and then it's like, now it's time to pick who wins Far, Far Away Idol, and it's like all their heads, and you get to pick which one you wanted. And if you don't, I forget who's supposed to win, but if you don't pick the right one, Simon Cowell just says, no, you're wrong, and then crowns himself the winner. Like I remember this. I remember it being, and it's like weird 3D animated Simon Cowell, and it's fucking weird. Why did they do it? Why?
Specifically to mess
remember
with
that.
you.
I
Simon fucking Cowell. I hate that guy.
Why?
Why?
He's a dick.
Well, not
He's
anymore.
gotten a lot better in the last
He's
decade.
softened up since
But
he's had a kid.
but I used to watch like original American Idol, and he was always just a dick. And like the thing about it is that he was so, and like it's his character, I guess. He was just so unapologetically a dick. I just wanted to be like, hey man, calm down.
Yeah, he was.
Relax.
He was pretty rude back
He could be
then.
harsh.
I mean, I respected it.
Yeah. He stood by
guess.
his values. I mean, he was a pretty big name.
Yeah, but you don't got to be so mean about it.
Well, would you rather have somebody pursuing a dream that they could not possibly succeed at, or crush them before they even have the chance to? Fail in front of Simon, fail in front of the world. We've got
guess.
plenty of pop stars that have died from lots of things. Very few of them are old age.
Yeah, when you were talking about in that specifically, and what makes you a dick, the worst part is everybody that you see in front of the judges sits in front of 6 rounds of judges before they get in front of the show judges. So for 6 rounds, they're told, yes, this is great. We're gonna send you through. And then they get in front of the judges, and then the judges are honest with them.
Yeah, I'm not bagging him for denying people and being honest. All I'm saying is that he said some mean shit. I just feel like he didn't have to be as harsh about it. He could have gotten his point across. Like, I think that I agree with you. He's gotten better because they specifically were like, you have to stop saying so much mean shit to people. Like,
People start.
I'm pretty sure that's quantifiable.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know. But either way, it was a weird, we can all agree, that's a weird addition to have at the end of a fucking Shrek
Yes,
DVD.
it was. But he was arguably also the most famous name in all of reality talent competitions at
I
that
guess.
time.
But
So
for
that-
kids, though, for kids in 2004, because you
That
got to
would've
think,
been
like,
weird.
for young me, I didn't know who, like, I knew who Simon Cowell was because my parents watch fucking American Idol every now and then, but not enough to be like, oh, wow, it's Simon. Like, I was like, what the hell?
Well, there's your distinction problem.
Why is this angry
You
British
think
guy
that
here?
Shrek is solely made for children. Shrek is the first animated movie geared towards adults
Yep.
as well.
I'm not saying it's solely made for children, but I'm saying that children are its main demographic.
It's valid.
Like, children are what they aimed it towards. They did write a lot of adult jokes, which I love growing up, like having watched them as I grow up, they're hilarious. But
Colin's like, I watch Shrek every year.
I watch Shrek once a week. Every time I close my eyes, I see him. And it's Shrekism is what it is.
Oh,
I wanted to bring this to you guys because this is my confession.
he's
I've
Gonna talk to you.
converted.
You have a
Okay.
minute to talk about your
You have
Lord
a
and
minute to talk
Savior
about our Lord
Shrek.
and Savior, the ogre from the swamp.
I'll join you only if I can be a door-to-door Shrekist,
Right.
because I think that would be so funny.
That's our YouTube channel hook. That's what we're
Hey
gonna
everybody,
do.
welcome back to the Shrek Hour, where we talk about a whole lot of Shrek.
Shrek Forever After is the big one. They're Scared Shrekless. Donkey's Christmas Spectacular. Or
What the
Shrektacular.
fuck are you talking about? I literally Googled all Shrek titles.
It's Wiki Shrek.
Yeah,
Woogie
there's
Shrek.
like little shorts.
There's a bunch of 'em.
Shorts.
Oh.
Thriller Night. The Pig Who Cried Werewolf.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about movies. Like on-screen movies. Like, you're gonna go to a theater and sit down, and they're gonna play Shrek Forever After. You know?
It's unlikely.
Some of these shorts might
They do. This
precursor
is what this
movies.
is. It had a theater release.
Oh,
But all this to say, because I don't really care about the other ones, I'll be honest. And that's my main point. Is that I can tell you a good bit about Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. And I've been looking at my computer this whole time, but I'll tell you, I've only been looking at pictures of the movies. But I remember so much about these movies, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There was 3 other Shrek productions that I don't think anybody gave a shit about, right? And maybe I'm wrong, like maybe that's really general, but they didn't do as well. Whole deal was that the Puss in Boots movie, right? Because Puss in Boots also had a couple solo movies. Which one of them? I'll look up Puss in Boots movies.
I would have seen a Gingy movie.
I don't know if I could have dealt with that voice the whole time.
Could you imagine him like battling against like the Muffin Man ended up being evil, and it was like Gingy versus the Muffin Man? I feel like that would be a fantastic title.
I
think
also
I would
agree
see the
with
hell out of
Colin
that.
on the voice of Gingy
Yeah.
being awful.
I think for
Well, maybe he just wouldn't talk that much. Maybe
For a
he wouldn't have that.
minor
Maybe it's
role-
all action.
the minor role he had in Shrek, it was funny every now and then, but I think for a whole movie, it would be unbearable. That's like, I think that's why they did like the Chris Pratt is just doing a normal voice, because the Mario like Italian like super stereotypical voice would be unbearable for an entire movie runtime. I believe that to be the case.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean the Puss in Boots movie, it came out. It's the third like solo Puss in Boots movie apparently, and it did really well. I haven't seen it personally, but it looks really good. But all I know is that it's ignited another Shrek, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know how I feel about that, but
I will say that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, his newest thing, was better than all of the other ones combined.
really,
Yep.
damn,
They did it in a weird way that was just really good and hit the story home. And it had that animation style from one of the Spider-Mans that I liked, where they film it in a weird frame so that it's got this kind of stop motion-y action thing happening, and it looks real good. Also, like, the antagonist of the story is death.
yeah, the wolf.
Yeah, and Puss coming to terms with death and that morality question of life, and yeah, it was a lot. But as far as a kids movie goes, weird.
Well,
But for
there's-
me, I liked it.
That's been a theme lately, right? And Encanto's not a kids movie. It's framed in a kids movie, but it's like a highly emotional journey. I never saw it, but this is what I've heard about it. And speaking of stop motion, if you haven't seen Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio on Netflix,
It's amazing.
absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Colin, we still have to watch that together.
Yeah.
He kept saying it was weird
So
looking.
good.
Made me too sad.
It was
It's
such a good.
So
sad.
good. Yeah,
Story
Got
of
too
very
real
sad.
at the end.
My thing is, I didn't say that the movie was weird looking. I think that the way that they chose to portray Pinocchio was weird looking, but I think it's cool.
I also watched the 30-minute making of special with Guillermo del Toro,
Really?
and it explains all of those choices, and they're phenomenal.
Nice.
Actually, we're probably just gonna watch it tonight. Now that we're talking about it,
Boom.
Whoa.
no excuses.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Pinocchio.
I'll watch anything
Uh-oh,
Guillermo del
Pinocchio.
Toro after Troll Hunters. Troll Hunters was phenomenal. The way it ended was absolutely terrible, but Guillermo del Toro is a boss.
Hey, you want to know what else is absolutely terrible?
What?
I love
Reddit.
the segues.
I thought you were going to talk about Shrek Swamp Kart Speedway.
What the fuck?
Is that
The
a racing game?
No, we're done with Shrek. We're moving on.
Tienamos le carne.
El chupacabra.
You know what that means? It means we have the meats.
Wow, I won't lie, dude. These episodes suck.
Okay.
Reddit is terrible.
Frisbee.
That's the point of what I was saying. Reddit. It's
Yeah.
awful. I think that we can all agree. Aaron, you spend a lot of time on Reddit?
No, I spend zero time on Reddit.
That's my boy. That's my boy. Anyway, no, I mean, I think Reddit is about the same as every other corner of the internet, where there's a good chunk of things that are good and a good chunk of things that are just really absolutely dog shit. Me and Emily on a previous episode, we talked a little bit about Reddit, and that got me thinking that, the adjacent to Reddit for the really awful shit, you want to get really awful, you spend like 10 minutes on 4chan.
I've never been to 4chan.
And that's for the better. I'll tell you, that's for the better. Because 4chan, it's like
It's like the League of Legends community.
yeah,
It's garbage.
it's trash.
Whoa.
It- 4chan
Savage.
to me is like if you took a urinal cake and pulled it and then scraped the bottom and like got all the goo and was like
Put it
yeah,
on a website.
like this is cool, right? Like let's all talk about this for half an hour. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what 4chan is. If that doesn't make any sense to you, I apologize. But the whole reason I bring up 4chan is because despite how awful it is, there are some funny and interesting things that have come out of it. One thing in particular I've been holding on to since I learned about this because I wanted to tell Emily on the podcast and get her live reaction. So something funny that happened on Reddit is, and there's a whole theory, a whole conspiracy theory, and if you've listened to other episodes of the podcast, you know that we do love our conspiracies over here. There's a whole conspiracy theory that Taylor Swift is like a big Reddit user, which there's, a supposed evidence for. Who cares if she is or not, I guess. Or not a big 4chan fan. But
There's evidence to this?
yeah, like I'll pull this up in a
Taylor Swift seems so non-toxic to be an
Right.
avid 4chan user. If I were to guess anybody was an avid 4chan user, it would be Kanye West.
Okay, so right here there's
can agree with that.
there's a post that says proof Taylor Swift is a regular on 4chan, and it's just like a compilation of posts. It's a compilation of posts that's like from like a bunch of years where somebody had a poll like what to name their cat, and let me see if I can zoom in on like what the name actually was. But like it's
I assume she has a cat named whatever the
Named,
result
yeah.
is.
so like
Easy enough to fake.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
That's a Photoshop. Like that's an hour in Photoshop. You know what I mean?
Maybe, I don't know.
I could fake that.
But yeah, there was a whole poll on what to name this cat, and the one the name was Meredith, and then like the next day, it's a tabloid. It says Taylor Swift tweets new kitten Meredith. Ooh, she named the cat. I don't know. It's weird. Either way, she had posted a poll online, not on 4chan, just
Supposedly
online.
she.
No, actual Taylor Swift. Like, it wasn't on 4chan. It was just
okay.
online. It was
All
a
right.
poll. It was a public poll. And she said, where should I do a charity event? Like, put in a place for me to do a charity event and people can vote on it type of thing. So 4chan decided that they were going to fuck with the poll and put in the Horace Mann School for the Deaf and broke the voting system, and it won.
That sounds like 4chan.
So, which I thought was funny because Emily is a big Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah, that
She
is
got
pretty
absolutely
funny, though.
got. But to be fair, she donated like $50,000 to the school instead of doing the concert because, like, obviously you're not going to go do a concert at a school for the deaf. So she donated a bunch of money.
Oh,
which
that
is
was
cool.
what the charity event was?
Yeah, it was vote on like where
For
I'm going to
where
do
the-
a charity concert.
Okay.
Vote on where I'm going to do it, and they
that
put
makes
in
more sense
The
of why
Horace Mann
that's
School
funny.
for the Deaf.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
I didn't realize we were talking about a charity concert.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's.
It's funny
That's-
and fucked up, but it's funny.
But
But at least she made good on it.
yeah, right. I mean, she did the best thing that she could do in that
Right.
situation. Was like, you know what? I get that I was the butt of a joke. I'm not going to get all mad about it. I'm going to
But that's
donate
always
a
Taylor
bunch of
Swift.
money.
That's always
Yeah.
been Taylor Swift.
Right. Even with the whole like, I'm gonna let
Scooter
you
Braun
finish,
and-
but
oh yeah, and the whole Scooter Braun thing.
what?
Okay, you don't know anything about what Taylor Swift's been going through for the past 5 years?
No, dude.
Okay, so,
I know about 4chan.
All right, so Taylor Swift released her first like 5-6 albums under Scooter Braun's label, to which his record company that he managed or whatever owned the masters for, meaning Taylor had no rights to her songs. So she had all the rights to her intellectual property, which is why she's been re-releasing those albums over the last 5 years, because Scooter Braun decided to sell the rights to the masters and didn't even offer to let Taylor Swift buy them.
Damn.
So he sold them to another record label so to own them, and she never had an opportunity to buy her own music back. So she's just been re-releasing it, and it's good.
Damn.
It's got her like new style on those
She
old.
got Shrek.
It was awful, dude.
She got
Taylor Swift
smacked.
got Shrek'd. Sorry, Taylor. That sucks. All right. The reason I brought up 4chan, it sucks. But something interesting came out of the pipeline, and this is old. I'm sure plenty of people, if you're watching this, you've seen this before. But we're going to talk a little bit about the 4chan shopping cart theory.
What?
That was not...
You see, I don't know
That was
anything
such
about
a good,
4chan.
genuine reaction. So I'll pull up the post here, or a picture of the post, and I'll read it to you guys. So, I present to you the shopping cart theory. The shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. To return the shopping cart is easy. Is an easy, convenient task, and one which all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. To return the shopping cart is objectively right. There are no situations other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return their cart. Simultaneously, it is not illegal to abandon your shopping cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as the apex example of whether a person will do what is right without being forced to do it. No one will punish you for not returning the shopping cart. No one will fine you or kill you for not returning the shopping cart. You gain nothing by returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your own heart. You must return the shopping cart because it's the right thing to do, because it is correct. A person who is unable to do this is no better than an animal, an absolute savage who can be only made to do what is right by threatening them with a law and the force that stands behind it. The shopping cart is what determines whether a person is good or bad member of society. So this is interesting because I don't want to go right out of the gate and be like, this is right, because they do take a very harsh stance here at the end. But it raises a good point, right?
But it's kind of right.
It's kind of right. I mean, it's the ultimate test of whether or not you have it in yourself to do what is right because it's what is right. Like, even when I think about this situation, I think about, if you can all remember back to the glory days when Walmart was 24 hours. You know what I mean? Imagine you went to Walmart for something dumb at 12:30. You know what I mean? There's no one else really there. You're in an empty parking lot. No one's even going to see you just leave the cart around. Do you have it, is it ingrained in you to do it, to put the cart away because you know that that's what you should do? Or are you just like, fuck it and leave it? And I mean, I want a completely honest answer. Out of the times out of 10 that you use a shopping cart, how often we'll go around and say, do we leave it just in its own spot? And if you want, I'll go first if it'll make anybody feel bad. I don't think anyone's going to... If you want to eat us alive in the comments...
Oh, boy. Don't be mean to me.
I always put my shopping cart back.
100% of the time?
100% of the time. But the caveat is that when I was younger, I didn't always. Most of the time I did,
right.
But I didn't always. However, it's somewhat a skewed statistic because I learned of this test over a decade ago. And since learning of this test and knowing who I want to be in society, I have always put it back.
Okay.
So it's like a Schrodinger's cat thing.
Right.
Where I know this is a way of thinking, and therefore I always act in how I want to present myself.
Aaron, have you ever heard this theory before?
Shopping cart theory?
Yeah.
I have. It was just how you said it beforehand.
But-
It just sounded weird.
But how many times out of 10 do you return the shopping cart versus leave it? Complete honesty, no judgment.
Complete honesty, 100% of the time.
You
But-
return it?
Yeah, 100% of the time.
Okay.
But I don't return it the conventional way. I got to keep things spiced up. You're working a job.
Never let them know your next move.
Never let them know your next move.
God.
Sometimes I'll put the cart back, like everything else. Sometimes there'll be one cart that's not lined up with all the others. Sometimes I like to spice things up and flip the cart upside down.
Dude.
Oh, that takes so much effort. Just to put
That
it
Agent
poor
of
cart-
Chaos.
That poor cart boy.
Well, you know what? He's got to learn.
so unevenly
It's a harsh
distributed in
world.
weight.
We've been there.
It's a harsh world.
He's like, I flipped the test on its head. Yeah, it's a whole new series of tests.
But if you are one of those stores that lock your shopping carts together,
The Aldi.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
I
don't-
agree.
no.
Yeah.
Well, let
it
me
was-
use a cart.
It was actually a really smart business strategy because
I don't care.
they get to pay their internal employees more money because they don't have to pay for cart collectors.
That's great.
Yeah, it was actually super, super convenient, and it doesn't
gotta
cost
get
you anything
your
extra.
whole quarter.
Yeah,
gotta
you
go
get your
that
quarter back,
It's not a
and
dime,
it works
it's a
about
quarter.
like 80-90% of the time.
Sure, I get that, but
Yeah.
it's a mild inconvenience.
It is a mild inconvenience. It pisses me off.
Thank you.
I imagine
I
about
agree
as
with you.
mild inconvenience as a shopping cart left where it's not supposed to be.
Hey,
All right.
that's fair.
Well,
I've given
Jeremiah.
my shopping cart at Aldi's to other customers like that are going in. They're like, "Oh, I'm
What about
going
your
in. Can I take
quarter?
Yeah, take it. Go.
What about your quarter?
I don't give a fuck. It's a quarter.
Oh my god, I'll remember that.
When I
I'll
need
remember
the
that.
quarter, sure, but
I will
most
say-
of the time I don't
Next
need
time
the
we need a
25
quarter.
cents.
I will say if I see shopping carts left like in the mulch or bumped up on the curve, I do think less of those people
Oh,
since
yeah.
learning of these tests.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can agree
So
with that.
so Jeremiah,
Yes.
just ballpark it. Out of 10, how many times, how often are you leaving that cart?
9 out of 10.
You're putting it back or you're leaving it in a random spot?
I put it back.
Okay. So you admit every now and then you just leave it.
Well, every now and then, I don't want to go to the cart corral
Yeah.
because it's either too far away or I look at it and I'm like, oh, I cannot put a cart in there because no one's bothered to get these carts
Right.
and who knows how long.
Right. It's overflowing with carts.
Yeah,
But
most of the
generally, if
time
I'm
at
in a better
Walmart-
mood, I'll actually walk the cart back up to the store itself
Right.
and not even bother with the corral. Because usually, if I have to go to the corral, I get annoyed by the people that put the carts in wrong.
Aaron.
Now I know who turns them upside down. And I will find you later.
Agent of Chaos.
Gotta keep things spicy.
I mean, listen. It's
I
hard
usually-
to use
I
the
usually
cart
keep
corral
that
if you can't
mentality
fit.
for the bedroom.
Hey, all the time.
It do be like that sometimes.
Do. So, Emily, what about you? I kind of know the answer, but out of 10, how often
I don't
are you
think you
returning the
do.
cart? Oh, okay. I guess I don't know anything about you. Who are you?
Well, here's the thing. You weren't with me when I had really, really young kids.
That's true.
So there's been times I've had to go to the store by myself with two very young
Uh-huh.
babies, basically. And there's been times I've left that fucker right where I was at because I had two kids, to worry about getting into the car. And I can't leave them or walk away from them. So sometimes, I'll leave it up. I won't leave it in a parking spot because that's shitty. But I'll at least put it up on the curb if I can't make it back. But I would say I put it back 8 out of 10 times.
See, in those circumstances,
When I can,
would,
I absolutely will.
I would offer to take the cart as a bystander. Be like,
Good
here, I'll put that up
Samaritan.
for you. Yeah.
I would
All right.
also
Single
return the
parenting
cart,
shit is hard sometimes.
but then flip it upside down.
What a degenerate.
I haven't done that in a long time, I will say.
Well, I'll accept the judgment. I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't have as good of an excuse because Emily has, with the two kids. I've never left a shopping cart just in a spot because obviously cars want to park there. That's messed up. There's been plenty of times that I will just put that fucker up on the curb when it's the dead of winter. And we're just for the knowledge of those listening, this podcast comes out of Ohio. So it gets fucking cold.
And then warm.
I
And
weigh
really warm.
like
The next day.
98 pounds soaking wet. I
That's not an
cannot
exaggeration.
handle. It's not, and I cannot handle the cold. It blows right through me. It hurts. It hurts my whole body, and I hate it. So there's been lots of cold winter days, and like not every time, but a good handful of times that I just parked that fucker on the fucking curb. Sorry, dude. Like, and my thing is, I understand where you're coming from with like it's the test of being able to govern yourself, like if you can do what's right or not. I know that what I'm doing isn't being like would be seen as the right thing to do, but like with Emily's situation, I feel like there's circumstances to everything. If someone is getting paid specifically to go out there and pick up the carts, I'm not getting paid to suffer the cold, to walk it back. Should I? Yeah, but does it make me like an awful animal to
Yes.
leave that shit on the curb because
Colin,
I can't breathe?
What I would say is that, at least in mine and Jeremiah's case, we knew your answer.
Colin's
Wow.
made out of paper mache.
I'm not. Hey,
It
I'm
does
not.
explain a lot.
But here's what I'm saying: on like a nice warm day, I'm putting that thing back every
Great.
time. You know what I mean? Like in the if the circumstances are, I can put it back without any pain and suffering to myself. I will put it back 100% of the time, and I put it back correctly. I don't flip it upside down. I don't spin it. I don't make it do a kickflip. I just put it in the thing. But when it's cold, like I'm telling you, it hurts my body.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to sound like a little, oh, what a little bitch, you can't handle the cold. But when you have no body fat, your muscles just contract the whole time. You're just constantly flexing and unflexing and flexing, and it really starts to hurt after like about 10 minutes of standing in the cold. So I've already stood there to take my groceries out and put them in the car. I don't want to walk the thing back. If you want to eat me alive, again,
Don't be mean to me.
but
So-
eat me alive if you want to, because I'm not putting it back if I'm gonna fucking freeze to death. I'm sorry.
Counterpoint. If you know you're going to the grocery store when it's freezing and it's cold outside, park closer to the corral.
That that's
True.
fair, but a lot of times I think generally that's a good rule. But I don't really drive anymore, so I don't really control where we park. But that is fair. That's a fair counterpoint to my argument. I will acknowledge that.
You could also, it being 2023, just have them delivered.
That's true.
Eliminate the shopping
Delivery
cart
fees,
problem.
dude. Everything's expensive.
Yeah, it's like $7.
And they always
it
like
is.
you've seen the memes of people getting like replacement items that are just completely different from what they ordered.
Most of the time, you can check that in the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Most
saw
of the time.
one. It was a woman. They replaced her tampons that she ordered with a jar of mayonnaise. That's fucking
That'll do it.
hilarious.
That'll do it.
Which makes me think
It's an old wives' tale.
Do it up.
it's just a really funny goof. But
It's for sealing.
So-
you just seal it up.
Put some caulk
overall,
on there.
It covers
do we
the odor.
agree? Overall, does the table agree
Industrial adhesive.
On what?
that the shopping cart test is the ultimate decider on whether or not you're a good member of society? Or not?
No.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a horrible person.
Hell no.
I would say that the knowledge of the test makes you biased.
True.
I can agree with that.
Is the inherent flaw. The knowledge of
Yeah.
the test makes you biased. Additionally, here's what it comes down to for me, and I'm gonna get railroaded right off this topic. I know it, but this problem is not a shopping cart. This problem is the idea of religion as a whole, and whether or not,
Whoa.
yep, and whether or not people
Controversial.
can be good
Without
the threat of
heaven or
religion.
hell.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
you
what
did-
this problem is.
But you did say something interesting. You said that the knowledge of the test would be its inherent flaw,
Yep.
right? You know
meaning
what-
the knowledge of heaven and
Right,
hell
right.
would be its inherent flaw.
and its inherent flaw. But you
Yep.
know what else is inherently flawed?
Shrek. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Not Shrek. Shrek was
AI.
perfect. Oh, segue.
AI is
Full
inherently
segue.
flawed.
More segues.
Hey,
Hold on. As much as I would love for you guys to hear this next bit, this episode's already long enough. So, tune into the next episode of Uncommon Nonsense with Colin Payne for part 2. Until then, if you want to keep up to date with the podcast, you can give us a subscribe here if you're on YouTube, or follow us on Spotify by looking up Uncommon Nonsense with Colin Payne. Make sure to give us a rating and leave a comment. Tell us how you like the podcast. You can find me on all my other socials with the tag @UncommonColin. I appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
And so I cried. Get real high and I
Scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey,
what's
going
going
on?
on?
all right, sorry.
That's the outro.
Thank you guys for watching.